What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only. It is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, happy Tuesday. What's happening, buddy?
I finally beat the bottleneck I was in Origami 2. The game is open once more, and I'm just gonna crush it. Funny enough, I just realized, where's your hat? We're almost in full uniform.
Almost, eh? Man, I left it upstairs. It's funny because I thought about it. Dude, I honestly thought about wearing it. But if you're looking for a hat, well, you have to find out how you get one later. But you can always join us live over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, as well as YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca, podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, coming up on today's show, Sony wants to move on to the PS5, but what's that mean for your PlayStation 4? Xbox working on a new XCloud device, and the Callisto Protocol will no longer be part of the PUBG Universe. Dude, I didn't understand that in the first place, but we'll get into how that one goes. Let's move over with Logan Moore over at comicbook.com as Sony reveals plans to end the PlayStation 4. Dun, 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 dun. It's over, buddy. That's the end of last generation. It's finished. We're timing to move on. Let's go. Sony revealed that it's planning to finally wind down the PlayStation 4. First released back in 2013, Scott. Just a couple years ago, the PS4 was gone.
I have such a weird memory of the windows of these consoles. 2013 seems like so long ago.
Oh, I know. The PS4 has gone on to become one of not only Sony's most successful consoles, but has also become one of the top-selling video game platforms ever. Despite this,
it really did sweep the generation, didn't it?
It sure did. Yeah, Sony is now looking to sell the PS5 as its primary hardware, which means the PS4 is naturally coming to an end. Now, thanks to guidance from Sony, we have an idea of when the PS4 may officially be going away. Outlined in Sony's latest financial presentation, it was made clear that games for PS4 will be gone by 2025. Scott, we got 2.5 years, 3 years still, kind of a bit of a window, right? Like
I think that's going to include a lot of the things that we've heard of recently, but anything new, I would suspect, is just new consoles.
Absolutely.
We're already starting to see some of those games turn away from older consoles already.
Yes, we certainly are, right? That's the biggest thing. We're starting to see. What did we just recently talk about that's just next gen? Dude, it was like on yesterday's show.
Batman, the new Batman.
Oh yeah, Gotham Knights, right? That's moving over to next gen only. So, and that was even announced for all platforms. Have recently just been declared now that they're actually just focusing on next gen only, right? That's the only place we're going to get it. But this doesn't mean that legacy PS4 games will no longer be purchasable, but Sony is clearly planning to be done with releasing new titles on the platform by this time. Instead, by 2025, Sony has projected that the majority of its revenue associated with games will stem from PlayStation 5, with titles on PC and mobile also bringing in the other half of its income. As a whole, this obviously shouldn't be surprising given that the PS5 will be Sony's main focus in the years to come. Scott, that's not a big surprise at all, right? We're starting to see that shift. That's what you just mentioned. We're now starting to transition into next gen. Are you surprised by the date, though? 2025?
It's kind of a little way out there, in my opinion, but I think that's mainly because of the hardware, the issue getting the hardware to market, and that's the biggest hurdle. Otherwise, I think we would already be on to, the PlayStation 5 Pro that is rumored.
Well, it's funny because we'll be talking about that later within the episode today as well, because there's rumors now of when that's going to be launching. So we'll definitely get there. But dude, when you get God of War, for example, coming over to the world of PC, right? You get all these other PlayStation legacy titles making their way slowly over to PC. Sony kind of teetering on we're dipping our toes in the water right now, but we don't want to actually cannonball in yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're looking at it. They're seeing the success that they are having with PC titles, and I think it's only a matter of time. Will we see day and date though? PC and PS5 release dates?
Oh, I would really like to see it, but we all have to get together. We all have to get together and buy Days Gone for two reasons. We'll get Days Gone 2 and more games on PC. Everybody wants Bloodborne on PC.
Yeah, you're dying for it. No, that's definitely the way to go. 2025 I think is a little bit later than I anticipated. I was really thinking maybe like 2024. It's only a year prior, but a year after I think does play into the fact that no one can find still PS5, right? I just saw, I think on Twitter today, that Walmart is opening up pre-orders now for PS5, like
Yeah,
kind of thing, right? Like, yo,
I saw
pre-orders
that.
again? What?
I saw that too, and it was Walmart Plus. Is there a subscription service to
Oh
Walmart
man,
now?
I have no idea.
Does everything have a prescription service?
I think so. I absolutely does, Scott. But that's the future of PlayStation right now, moving over into the next gen. Not a big surprise. We just talked about yesterday's PlayStation VR 2, right? So, dude, we're getting into new consoles all around once more, right? They're bringing in other hardware, and Sony's busy over there with PlayStation 4 titles still being able to access on PlayStation 5, right? We're able to carry over last generation. I think that's the biggest stepping point moving forward with consoles. Is we've kind of fall into that in that Steam library of, okay, you bought this on PS4, you can now play it on your PlayStation 5. You don't lose it moving forward. Right?
Well, that backwards compatibility, and because it's all account based,
yes,
I'm really not sure if there is any sort of excuse to not have that kind of backlog, especially after the stellar last 2 years we've had. You don't want to leave all those games in the past.
Absolutely not, right? Remember when you went from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3? Like, dude, they're gone. They're just gone. Remember buying my PlayStation 2, and on the back of the discs, they were like purple. Like, it wasn't the silver; it was the actual purple coating. I'm like, yeah, that's that's just okay. That's cool. But it was all pushing into that DVD era, and then the HD stuff. And oh man, but it's funny to see technology jump so much. Then you go from PlayStation 4 going, how much further can they really push this? Then we get into PlayStation 5. You go, that's how much further we can go. And then we get into Unreal Engine 5, even pushing it further, right? With the technology of they have that face capture technology too. Dude, it's incredible. Absolutely stunning to see where they're moving. But 2025 lines up with a lot of stuff, right? Next gen GTA is coming around. Apparently rumors around then 2025, 24, somewhere in around there. There's a lot of stuff starting to sweep up that we're hearing rumblings of moving for 2025.
And there's a lot of pressure on developers that I think the average consumer doesn't think about. When you have a split release like Destiny was, and you have to focus on the older consoles as well, it kind of, I don't know if anybody wins, because you can't push the game to the extent of the new hardware. And then you get this game for people on new hardware that's aged by the time it comes out. So it's this awkward zone of being right in the middle of two generations.
Well, I think that's why you're starting to see some of these up-res, right? Like Ubisoft is really good at doing this for Assassin's Creed, really stepping it up for, oh, you're on Xbox Series X, here you want this edition, right? And they up-res everything and step that up. Again, it would be a little bit different if, say, Santa Monica Studios works just on God of War for PS5 and not worry about the PS4 generation, right? We saw Horizon, we saw Guerrilla focus on both platforms, PS4 and PS5, for Horizon Forbidden West. If they were able just to tap straight into the PS5, dude.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see a comparison.
Absolutely.
I have not, actually. I didn't really think about it because you have the PS5 that experienced it. That's the only thing I've seen.
It was fantastic on the PlayStation 5. Still my game of the year so far, Scott. So far, it's still my game of the year. We'll see if it holds out, because it's far from over. And rumors of God of War coming this year could just about change it all.
That is the big challenger now.
Yes, it is. And Microsoft is challenging things in the world of XCloud, because let's get into it. Microsoft continues to iterate on an Xbox cloud streaming device, codename Keystone. Let's go from Jez Corden over at Windows Central.
Fire Stick was already taken.
Dude, that's
a good one.
That's right. For a few years, rumors have persisted that Microsoft was exploring building some form of streaming stick to offer Xbox cloud gaming via a more affordable dongle, similar to Chromecast or Google Stadia. The first hit was Project Hobart. Dude, I've never heard of that one. More recently, a code named Keystone appeared on the Xbox OS list, lending fire to rumors that Microsoft was continuing to explore additional hardware for the Xbox lineup.
Isn't it curious? Keystone is the verbiage used, and that's what the Halo show is centered about.
Funny how that works, eh? It's all about marketing, Scott. That's how it works, man. We can now confirm that That is indeed true, and it pertains to a modernized HDMI streaming device that runs Xbox Game Pass and its cloud gaming service. Microsoft is, however, taking some time to explore additional iterations of the product before bringing it to market. In a statement provided to Windows Central, a Microsoft spokesperson described its commitment to lowering boundaries to Xbox content via low-cost hardware, while acknowledging the existing version of Keystone needs a little bit more time to bake before going live. Quote, "Our vision for Xbox cloud gaming is unwavering. Our goal is to enable people to play the games they want on the devices they want, anywhere they want." Dude, I love that. I absolutely love it. You want a game, you just play it wherever you want. It doesn't matter what you're on. And this is one of the things we always talk about with Xbox is they don't care about Xbox. They care about Game Pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's any avenue through which to sell you Game Pass is going to be well supported.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's good for the gamer, I think. Instead of getting all hung up on this hardware and the difference between generations, as we just discussed.
Yep.
Well, this kind of saves it. But I wonder if are they using any sort of technology that Stadia had already pioneered? Or do you think they're completely engineering their own?
No, I think they're completely engineering their own.
Well, just by the description, I think I have it. Yeah, just about 6 feet that way. I have my Stadia with Ethernet cable connection into it. And I thought that worked really well.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I haven't used it in 2 years.
Ah, man. Well, as announced last year, we've been working on a game streaming device codenamed Keystone that could be connected to any TV or monitor without the need for a console. End quote, was a Microsoft spokesperson's statement. That dude is very in the realm of Google Stadia, right? They want you to be able just to plug it in and away you go. I think that's the biggest thing.
I wonder if you can take this. Will this defeat the security systems that are in schools? I'm thinking of my time in college. I had a laptop open. I was playing Command and Conquer. Funny enough, that game never leaves me. But no, I'm wondering, is it so easy you can just plug it in and there you go? You just bring a controller in your backpack? I'm not saying you should do that, but
I am saying you should do that. You should test that out. Let us know. Hit us up over on
college
Twitter.
Days are very long. I used to have 13-hour days. I took a break for games.
Yeah, absolutely. As part of any technical journey, we are constantly evaluating our efforts, reviewing our learnings, and ensuring we are bringing value to our customers. We have made the decision to pivot away from current iterations of the Keystone device. We will take our learnings and refocus our efforts on a new approach that will allow us to deliver Xbox cloud gaming to more players around the world in the future. Scott, it sounds like they're up to something, dude. They're like this close from launching, I would say, the Stadia competition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Keystone could be no longer do you need to download. I think that's the biggest. Dude, that was the biggest thing for me on Stadia. I literally pulled up my phone, hit a game, it beamed over in my TV, and away we went, right? I didn't have updates to worry about. I didn't have a download to worry about. Last night, prime example, Steve goes, "Drew, let's go play some GTA." I'm like, all right, let's go. He goes, 1 sec, I got to download the online component. Well, see you tomorrow, Steve, because, right? Like he said, give me an hour and he'll have it, which is great internet. Honestly, it's all in all is good internet. It's just the size of that game is massive. It's kind of like downloading Red Dead Redemption 2. You might want to wait some time. It's just,
you don't do that in a hurry.
Right, but it takes away from the hard drive space. Dude, no longer do we have to worry about hard drive space. That's always a big component of what we're dealing with in this industry.
I was thinking of this yesterday. How do we know what the Series X has? Do you remember? Because it feels like it has 100 gigabytes, and that's it. I know that can't be true. It must be at least a terabyte, but
yeah, I think
storage
it's 1 terabyte.
Space does not take you as far as it used to.
Not at all, right? I think I have. Okay, so we have 1 terabyte, right? I'm looking, I'm scraping the back of my mind, Scott, and I want to say I have maybe 10 games on my console for Xbox.
Yeah. Well, right? If only I could plug in that external drive that I've had sitting next to the thing for 2 years now. No,
you got to buy their own memory card that snaps in the back. Something I saw I never thought I'd see again.
I was happy to leave those back in 2002.
Man, that was on my PS2. You had a memory card. You plug it in, plug it out, plug it in, plug it out. Then you had to switch slots sometimes. Here we are again now because they want you to just... Nope. I like the idea of the cloud. It's can they do it properly? Because I've done the cloud streaming service, right? And sometimes, well, I played MLB The Show with Kyle the other day, and I'm like, dude, yeah, it says here we can play on the cloud. Let me try that. Not a chance. Not a chance. And I have good internet, right? And I just, dude, I couldn't do it. There was so much latency between his pitch and me trying to swing the bat that the ball was already past me before I swung, right? And there was one of those, this doesn't work. You couldn't play a Twitch shooter.
That's one of the examples that you're going to see. Yeah, you wouldn't play Mortal Kombat like
no.
that. There's just you wouldn't even bother starting it. There's no point. That's going to be the last test, really, of cloud service.
Yes.
But we are in the year 2022 now. Where is that high-speed internet?
Yeah, the 5G is a slow go. But, dude, let's get into the PUBG universe. This is such a weird thing to me. The Callisto Protocol is no longer part of the PUBG universe. This comes from Jordan Midler over at VGC. The Callisto Protocol. Callisto. Oh, I kept calling it wrong. Sorry, my bad. The Callisto Protocol, the upcoming horror game from Dead Space creator Glenn Schofield, is no longer part of the PUBG universe. Speaking on Twitter, Schofield said, FYI, the Callisto, the game, it's its own story and world. It no longer takes place in the PUBG universe and was originally part of the PUBG timeline, but grew into its own world. PUBG is awesome, and we still have a little surprises for fans, but TCP is its own world, story, and universe.
Little surprise for the fans. What could that be? You know what my first thought is?
Tie-in somehow,
level 4 armor. You'll find a frying pan.
It just steps up, dude. It's I never understood the tie-in with the Callisto world and PUBG. Like, it just baffled me when they said they're making this game off of the PUBG world. I was like, cool. All of a sudden it went to a horror thing, and I was like, what? How does that work?
I would expect more of like a standard military operation kind of thing for PUBG, but I don't know if there's any sort of lore sprinkled throughout the items.
Man, not that I ever knew.
Open. I don't recall. No,
dude, I played the crap out of that game.
Maybe Callisto was supposed to be something that led to a decline of civilization. That's why we're all fighting each other for no reason. Yeah. I struggle to make sense of it.
No, for sure, right? I think if it would have spun off to its own story, we would have experienced some kind of like Call of Duty-esque kind of game, right? Not some horror title. So it's cool to see. Are you interested?
In the same way that Titanfall sets the timeline for Apex.
Oh, dude. Yeah, but that really ties in though, right? Like Titanfall was first, then Apex followed. So it kind of goes into the next, and that kind of it flows.
Well, they try to ignore that it's from that universe after making it specifically that way. Yeah, it's just because they don't want to add Titans and some of the older characters would have been 100 years old, so it's not relevant.
Yeah. Oh man. We should start with Titan.
There's a huge amount of Titanfall universal stuff I could pull. I could make books, games. Come on, Respawn.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott, are you excited for this game at all?
Oh, I am. Yeah, being that it's similar or kind of inspired by Dead Space, that kind of horror is perfect. That's right exactly in my sights.
There you go. Is the next title in your sights, Scott? Why don't you take this one?
Well, Valve plans to address Team Fortress 2's bot problem. Now, this is something that has kind of been building steam for a long time, but let's see here. Marcus Stewart gives us more in Game Informer. He writes, Team Fortress 2 remains an extremely popular game with a large active player base, but the last couple of years have seen it overrun by aimbots. A passionate group of fans has long pleaded with the developer Valve to address the issue, and the company has finally responded. Good on them for that. Yesterday, the official Team Fortress 2 Twitter account posted a message in response to the hashtag SaveTF2. Oh, what happened to Save TF1? Titanfall again.
Save Battlefield.
Will haunt me forever.
Save Cyberpunk. Dude, there's a lot of saves going on lately.
Save Red Dead Online. I'm still behind that one.
Absolutely. I'm there. I'm cheering that one on.
There was a peaceful campaign of fans working to raise awareness about the game's rampant bot problem. Bots had made the game nearly unplayable for a long time, and they seemingly insta-kill players as soon as you get into the game. It's complete that kills the whole server. There's no game anymore if that is the case. But
that's rough.
There has been an answer from Valve. They initially were very silent for a long time, but they went and posted, TF2 community, we hear you. We love this game and know that you do too. We see how large this issue has become and are working to improve things. That is a spark of hope in this situation.
Absolutely. Scott, why don't they work on bringing it to next-gen consoles?
Yeah, we talked about that actually. How old is this game? It came out in 2007. It was actually on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Right. So with its popularity, I'm really not sure why it hasn't moved forward.
Maybe because it's Valve and they don't need the money. It's like, we don't need to do this. So
they could have packaged the orange box and just up-resed it, and you'd sell that. You'd sell that more times than you'd sell Grand Theft Auto 5.
But Team Fortress 2 is so stylized. Like I don't think they would take much to actually just port it over, right? Like it's not the photorealistic stuff you need to worry about when you go from like PS3 to PS4 to PS5. Like, dude, transitioning that over is a bit of a task. But I think in a stylized,
they could go in the way that Nintendo does high resolution. Think of Mario Odyssey. Think of Splatoon. That kind of vibrant color. It could work really well.
Absolutely, I think it would work. Dude, what kind of questions me if it's going to work is the Multiversus leak suggests Mortal Kombat, Scorpion, and Ted Lasso might join the roster. This comes from
Ted Lasso is.
He's a football player so he's an American football player, then turned soccer player. so
okay. Football to football?
Yeah, football to Steve's football. This is over at VG 24/7. A new Multiversus leak seems to suggest that the characters like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat and even Ted Lasso from the titular show could appear in the game. As reported by VGC, a new leak has emerged providing details on upcoming characters from Multiversus. The leak comes from the same person who initially leaked the game, lending some credence to this one, sharing the supposed upcoming roster of characters on Reddit. Dude, leakers, I tell you, they're vicious.
Yeah, sometimes you like to see it, sometimes you don't.
I know, right? I think it's so disappointing to the team. I think that's.
Now, if anybody has any information on Titanfall 3, you just hit me up in DMs. I won't say a word.
Yeah, hit me up and we'll leak it out here for you. Dude, there's a ton of characters. It's all about Warner Brothers. To see Scorpion make his way over, not really that surprising. Scorpion makes his way into every game possible that they allow him to. So
yeah, the only person who gets ported more than that is Sam Fisher.
Yep, that is so true. But Multiversus is looking pretty good at the moment. Connor McCarr was able to get his some hands-on time with the alpha version of the game, noting things like how good the presentation is and how surprisingly good the gameplay feels. Look out, Smash Bros. Apparently.
Oh, that's intense. Right? I've always been on the team of Smash Bros. Needs some competition.
It does. Will you check out this
game?
All-Stars
didn't quite do it.
Is this free to play? Yeah, you're gonna check it out?
I don't believe it is free to play, but I am really interested in getting to it. There's, I believe, Shaggy is in this game.
Yeah, rumors. Yep.
Ultra Instinct Shaggy is going to be my main pick. That's for sure. There is not a character in human history that is more powerful.
Dude, you're going to have characters like Joker, Gizmo from the Gremlins, LeBron James. Really?
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty are going to be there. This is going to be a wacky game, dude. Without a doubt, it's going to be a little bit all over the place. I'm curious to see how well it works. The Smash Bros. Fighting community is strong and powerful. Will they take and gravitate to this? Dude, I'm a Mortal Kombat guy through and through. That's
what will determine if it's taken seriously. If the so-called Smash gods jump on your game, you know that game is going the distance. That's for sure.
Absolutely. It's got this Fortnite aesthetic to it that it's very appealing to everybody, I think, and it will kind of gravitate to maybe some of the younger generation. Those who play Fortnite will maybe actually give this a chance. I think it should go free to play. I think that might stand a better chance of actually having even a bigger community than launching with a price tag. What do you think?
Then we have loot boxes and battle passes, so I'm not sure if I'd be happy about that.
Yeah. But Scott, guess what, buddy? Just like that, the show is over. Everybody, thank you for joining us. As always, hit us up over at InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, I'm Drew, that's Scott, and we'll see you inside the game.